Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're kicking off something a little different. I know there's been a lot of talk about the Switch 2 lately, whether you should jump on the hype or stick with the OG model. Honestly, it's a tough call. I've got a challenge for myself that might help us answer that question. Now I don't have a Switch 2 for the end result, but we have somewhere to start with, so let's check it out. Now back in June of this year, Nintendo released the Nintendo Switch 2, model number BEE001. This marks officially the 5th generation Switch and the entire lineup, from the original Switch to the Red Box Switch, Switch Lite, Switch OLED, and again the Switch 2. Now this does not include any custom editions or limited edition Switches, just the 5th Switch in the overall lineup. And we are still waiting on a Switch 2 Lite, whenever that will come out. Now with all the controversy about the Switch 2, its pricing, but upgraded hardware, it got me thinking, is it even worth it to buy the newest console? Or are there still life in the older ones? So I decided to take matters into my own hands. What if I could grab an older Switch model and turn it into something unique, custom, maybe even better, all on a strict budget of, let's say, $100. Or at least the price of one on a used market, just the console and Joy-Cons itself. Now when it comes to making it better, it's going to be a little bit difficult since we're talking about two different sets of hardware, but let's see what we can do. So here's the game plan. I'm not going to grab an OLED version because, let's be real, it's kind of cheating. So we're going to go a bit older school. We're going to aim for the original or Red Box Switch. The goal is to find one at a good price, used or even in need of some repairs, to fix it and make it mine. Now, I could just go scoop up a Switch Lite, but I still want that functionality of removing the Joy-Cons and dock. Even though I'm not really going to be using it, I just want to keep that functionality. Now, I'm not going to be just talking about slamming a custom skin and calling it a day. We're going deep, upgrading the console itself, Joy-Con controllers, and even some of the accessories, SD cards, maybe some extra hardware to give this thing a boost, if possible. Now, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to swap out any of the hardware on the Switch, because just that's how it's built. But keeping things like maintenance and maybe an overclock if we mod it. But we'll see when we get there. Now that we know what we're going to buy, to keep things organized, I'm going to keep track of everything in an Excel sheet like this. Right here, we have the return to stock, which will just be our device and anything in regards to pretty much using the Nintendo Switch as is. So the console, the Joy-Cons, anything else to keep it in its stock state. Anything like an SD card, screen protector, case, Joy-Con grip, a dock, that's actually going to be in the miscellaneous and upgrade spot and will not count as part of our $100 or as much as it is to get a Switch and Joy-Cons. That is the budget we're going to work with to get it to return to stock. Anything in the miscellaneous upgrades, we're going to make sure it doesn't go way over a budget, but that's just where we are for this moment, because those are extras. Now you can question and say, well, does a charger consider returning to stock? Yes and no. I'm not going to include a charger in this as I already have one, and most of you should already have at least one type of USB-C charger, whether you're on iPhone or Android, but that's up to you whether you do this or not. Now, some people may be selling their consoles with that charger, other people may not, but I think it's around like $15 if you get an official charger, and maybe around that same price if you get a non-official charger. Alright, so now that we have this layout checked out, let's head over to eBay and see what we can get. Alright, I'm going to start out with eBay. I'm also going to browse our other marketplaces to see if I can find something. It's going to take me a little bit of time before I kind of find what I want. But we'll take a look and see what happens. After searching for quite some time on local marketplaces and eBay, I came across this listing. Now it supposedly is a Red Box Switch for repair. Now if we scroll down, we can see that the Switch is listed as 2nd gen, so Red Box Switch. For repair, tested, does not power on, so can have a number of issues, comes as is. and it's currently listed for 65 USD. I might take a gamble with this one if I can get it for less. So I'm going to submit an offer to the seller to see if I can get something. Because Joy-Cons aren't actually that bad secondhand. I think they're around like 30, 35 bucks. So if I can get it for less than 65, we're still on that budget. But I'm also going to keep browsing my local marketplace and see if I can find something else while I wait for the offer to return. Alright, great news. I was able to get the Switch for 55 USD plus taxes and shipping. I mean, shipping was free, so 55 bucks plus tax, which is still a lot, but it's under the price of getting a Switch and some Joy-Cons, even though this is just the console itself. So here in our Excel sheet, we're going to put our Switch. And then we're going to say it cost $55. So currently that's where we stand. We had a Switch console that's on the way, costs us 55 bucks. And then once it comes to the mail, we can test and see where it lands us. Our Switch has arrived, so let's get it unpackaged. And here we go, nicely packaged. Nice job with the cardboard. And here we are. Alright, so when I ordered this, it said it was a 2nd gen red box Switch. So instead of being a standard Switch, it's a red box Switch. And now that we have it, even though the back plate, which we'll take a look at later, says it is a red box Switch, the serial number is gone, so I can't actually confirm it. But looking at the overall condition, we do have some scratches though on the front screen here, and the overall shell is not in the best condition. So why don't we wipe this thing down real quick, and then we'll start taking a look at it to see if we can fix it. That speaker grill right here is disgusting. Look at that. Alright, now that we've finished cleaning the Switch, why don't we just take a look at the bottom port here. It said it was tested, no power. The charge port looks good though. I mean, it is still a bit wet from our cleaning, but we can again see that that serial number is gone. So let me know down in the comment section below if there's another way to test the actual serial number on the Switch, or at least find out through like a motherboard serial number or something to see if it's actually that red box Switch. So let's plug this thing in and see if it actually powers on. Now, I went ahead and bought a USB-C voltmeter for pass-through just to see what kind of wattage it pulls. So it seems like we're not getting any signs of life, just like the listing. So why don't we plug that instead and see what kind of amps and volts it draws. Now, I am using a 30-watt USB-C charger and a cable that is capable of at least 30 watts. All right, so this is currently pulling 10 volts and 0.5 amps, which is pretty good. It only needs like 0.25 amps to actually charge, but it does seem like it is pulling some power. It's just not turning on. Now I'm going to try a couple different start methods for the Switch. Press and hold the power button, volume press, and see if it changes anything. Alright, now I've tried the different start methods and it doesn't seem like it actually wants to work. Nothing seems to be powering on. It still stays at that standard 10 volts, 0.45 amps. So unfortunately, it means we're going to have to dig deeper into this. Now, based on some research, I've found that replacing the battery might help, depending on how long the Switch was sitting. And all in all, we're going to need to do some sort of teardown to see the condition of this Switch. Could be a bad charging chip. But first, why don't we leave it on the charge for a little bit and see what happens. Now, just to make sure it wasn't my charger, buddy of mine let me borrow his official AC charger for his Switch. So after leaving the switch on the charger for a while, it seems to still not want to power on. Now I ordered a battery to test with to see if that's the possibility. Fortunately, it arrived before I saw this video.
But I think it's not supposed to show up APX device. Doesn't it show up as a Nintendo Switch? Like if I plug in this other one, I don't know. It didn't show up as anything. It's just recycling. Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. But yeah, this shows up as an APX device.
In layman terms, says plug your device into your PC and see if it shows up as APX chip. If it is, it's been modded. If not, try something else. And since we have it and there's no way for me to return it, why don't we tear down the switch, swap the battery, and see if that fixes it before we test it plugging into our PC. There are a bunch of screws. There's an iFixit guide in the description below. So if you're going to tear down your switch, use that. It does seem like we have a hole here in our shield, which is giving me more hacked vibes. And if we look into the chip and the charging port, they do look like they have been replaced. But it is pulling volts and amps in, so it doesn't seem like it's that. Why don't we swap the battery to see if that's the issue? Well, we're getting the right charge. Alright, same result. Now, I just realized we're also missing the flash NAND chip, which isn't really good when you want to be putting a switch together or buying one, because the flash NAND is tied to the device, which will be a bit more of a pain if we can get this thing working. So let's put this thing back together, plug it into our PC, and see what happens. Here we are on our PC. Now I opened up Device Manager so we can see what shows up when we plug in our switch. So let's go ahead and plug our switch in. Interesting, so it's coming up under lib USB-K USB devices, and here we have APX. Now the reason I have the device following under lib USB-K devices is because I actually have some drivers installed from previous projects worked on or other videos. Yours might pop up with a triangle next to it, showing that the device drivers aren't installed if the device is in auto RCM mode. Now it seems our switch was hacked before, so it is popping up on our PC. Which means I'm going to have to do a couple quick Google searches or just continue watching that video that I showed earlier, just so we can download the software and run that jailbreak. Alright, after setting everything up, making sure that I have the correct drivers installed, I have the Tegra RCM GUI app. We're going to go more into this when we actually set up the switch. I just want to see about running this exploit and seeing if our switch actually works. Just make sure if we do or do not need to buy an LCD as well. So I'm going to hit inject payload. And it works. Our switch did show up. I'm going to put a video right here on screen. It is in that charging state. We can hear it connecting in the background. So it seems our switch was just dead and needed to charge. Now, if my analysis is correct based on the video, when it's in auto RCM mode, it may trickle charge or not even charge at all. But once you inject the payload, it boots into that jailbreak and actually allows the switch to turn on. Which is great news, means our switch works. And now we can move on to the next part. So the good thing is it leaves us in a position that we'd actually use the switch. Now, we're still going to buy that flash NAND to see if we can repair it and get the stock spot and get the switch back into a stock state so we don't have to use it solely in its jailbroken state. Now, unfortunately, because of the condition it is in, I don't think we're going to be able to play online again, which I'm perfectly fine with. I don't really mind not having that online functionality, but it does remove that feature set from the switch itself. But for you, you may not want that, so Just be careful when you're buying used or broken switch hardware. Next up, we're going to buy that flash NAND, see if we can fix it, but I also want to get a shell, some Joy-Cons, and everything else to mod and fix our switch. We'll buy those if we can get the flash NAND working. Now, I don't think we actually need the flash NAND if we keep the jailbroken switch in its jailbroken state, but I kind of want to bring this thing back to stock and have it keep working. But we might as well get it, see if we can fix it, and move on. So I'm going to get on that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like if you like this, if you dislike it. And I'll see you all in the next video.